Hi, I'm Ayse Hogan from the Chakra House of Healing, and I am a self-healing facilitator because I really believe that all healing is self-healing, and I am a transformational life coach. So let me just talk about today. We're going to talk about sex. Today we're talking about sex. So understanding sexual difficulties. So I've done a little bit of a flipboard here for you today, but understanding sexual difficulties. So let me just talk about this for a second. Every single time we have issues in our sexual relationship, it doesn't mean that it actually has anything to do with sex. I mean, that's a part of it, but it's much more than that. So you have to look at the relationship as a whole. And it doesn't matter if it's a same-sex relationship, if it's an opposite-sex relationship, that part is irrelevant. Let's just talk about the sexual relationship, okay, and how it affects all other aspects of our lives. Or is it really vice versa, right? All the other aspects of our lives are actually affecting our sex life. So, you know, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Here we go. All right, so why? Much of our relationships conflict with our partners and our sexual relations. A lot of the things that we're feeling individually as well as in this couple really do affect our sex life as well. And sometimes it's not such a big deal at the beginning, but then it becomes a big deal. It's like our colors come out, so to speak, right? So it becomes a big deal. Also, we can have a lot of blocks, and those blocks can be from beliefs that are learned as children. Okay, so that can cause issues too. Like, for instance, as a child growing up, I came up with a belief that, you know, love and sex equaled pain, right? So what that meant was, you know, unless somebody was being really mean to me, I wasn't, you know, it wasn't a real thing. So that was a belief that I had to get over. All right, so that's something that you might want to think about as a block. Other blocks are depression, anxiety, shame, anger, self-esteem, finances, communication, parenting, work, fatigue. I mean, these are things that reasons that we use to avoid having sex, right? So most of the time, a sexual difficulty seems unrelated. So I'm not going to call it a disorder because I don't think it's a disorder. I think of it, it's a difficulty, right? It's a challenge. It's a struggle that we have to get through. And that's fine. We can. So sexual difficulties don't necessarily mean relationship incompatibility. So we talked about that already. So sometimes when our sex life goes in the toilet, we automatically think that our relationship is going bad. And that's not the case in most cases. Okay, it could be that you just need to fix some other areas of your relationship, or you need to do some self-work. Work on yourself, okay? So individual emotional distress is just exactly what I just spoke about. And enhance your own self-worth, okay? We can't just always blame things on other people for it not working. So examples of this is I have stress from work, so I avoid sex. Or we don't talk much, so we avoid sex. My father died, so I just don't really feel like having sex. I have an illness, so I'm not having sex. I am in menopause now, so we can't have sex. So these are lots of different reasons among a bazillion others. I'm too tired, whatever, like all these different things of why we won't have it. The results of that is couple conflict, confusion, alienation, dissatisfaction. We deflect, right? We deflect or we blame ourselves. So we either say, this is because of you that it's like this, or we say, I'm sorry, I'm dealing with something, so I can't. You know, you blame yourself for the relationship falling apart when it is something that we can actually get repaired. You can fix this, okay? You can heal this. Betrayal can be a result. Power struggles in the relationship. Preferences can sometimes be a struggle because now all of a sudden we've got preferences that maybe weren't around before, or somebody didn't feel comfortable enough to tell you about, okay? This is applicable, like I said, to both opposite and same-sex relationships, okay? The causing personal distress and relationship conflict. So, other ways. Sexual addiction or hyperactivity. These are other ways that it can come out. Arousal difficulties. This is something that would be a sexual difficulty, right? Absence or delayed orgasm, premature ejaculation, non-medical impotence or ED, erectile dysfunction, habitual comfort level and comfort level. That's a big one, that comfort level and habitual, right? It's just always the same, right? And loss of desire. Again, this may not have anything to do with your partner. So we need to, as a race, as a people, we have to start turning the mirror around. Stop blaming other people for everything that's going on in our lives and start looking at ourselves. Okay, so when I'm working with my clients, part of what I work with them about is also their sex life, okay? Because they usually, if they're having problems with themselves, they're having problems in the bedroom. Okay, that happens not all the time, but a lot of the time. Okay, so what is a normal sex life? Once a week, once a month, twice a year? It depends on you. It's not what social says. It's not what, what your neighbors are doing. It's what's normal and acceptable and keeps you as a relationship happy. That's your normal, not what anybody else is doing. Only what you're doing, okay? And what is satisfaction? That depends on our expectations and the meanings to each individual. So what do we hope to get? I hate the word expectations because expectations only lead us to disappointment, okay? So step one, when I'm working with people, step one, consultation. Either as individuals I can work with them, or I can work with just one of the couples, or I work with the couples. But I will tell you this, number one, I don't do couples as they're together. That doesn't happen until later. We're working on things individually. Why? Because I'm not going to sit here for an hour and listen to you yelling at her and her yelling at you and him, whatever it is. That's not going to happen. What's going to happen is I'm going to deal with you both individually and deal with your personal self-healing first. Why do I want to do that? I want to do that because 9 out of 10 times I never actually have to get the couple together. Because by the time that each one of them has done their own personal healing, they're already coming together on their end. They're already fixing things on their end because their own personal triggers no longer exist. Okay? Because we've already released them. Okay? In the work that we're doing together here in our self-healing, right? Step 2, this is the longest portion, which I just talked about, the separate sessions first. So the consultation is first. I need to understand your willingness, your understanding of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, because I'm not doing stuff to you. We're working together here, okay? Step 2, this is the longest part. This step is because we're doing separate sessions first, and I've explained why we're doing that. Step 3, we will bring you together if need be, or maybe some decisions we're going to have to be made. Because let's face it, till death do us part. And I'm not saying to use this as an excuse, but this is something that is true. Okay, so till death do us part, those vows were created when people were only living until they were 25 and 30 years old. That was the life expectancy at that time. We are now living until we're like 90, 100 years old, right? So we are living a long lifetime. And if you can find a partner that you can do that from your 20s or 30s all the way to your 90s, God love you. Like, that is amazing if you can pull that off. It is amazing if you find that proper soulmate for yourself. Realistically, though, that doesn't always happen. Okay? So instead of just saying, wow, I was married to this person for the rest of my life, and 10 years later, everything's in the toilet. Maybe that marriage has served its purpose. Maybe, okay? But those are some of the decisions that we'll come to, right? Is this marriage, are we going to put this marriage back together? Are we going to enliven it, empower it, bring it back? Or, is this partnership, is it time for you both to move on? Like that, it's realistic. It is realistic, okay? So I'm going to give you eight sex tips today. All right. So number 1, foreplay and teasing. All right. So drawing it out, not only when you're alone together, but how about when you actually can't have sex? So you're in a public place, or, you know, you're entertaining at your home or whatever it is, but arousing each other in a place where you absolutely can't do anything about it. Okay? And that might be a really great way to build up some tension, some sexual tension between the two of you. Okay? So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, get dirty, right? Try new things. Oh my God, get out of habitual sex. You know when you need to lift your leg and turn over and like, really? Like, so it's time to like get past the habitual sex, get past the 5 minutes just for the sake of doing it. Okay? Really? Like, let's get past that and start bringing some get out of our box. Up your game. Get creative. Here's the thing, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, but this is one of my big ones here. I'm always like, it's time to get dirty. All right? Whatever that means to you. Enjoy being in your own body. Okay? Self-love is paramount, even if you don't happen to be what that socially acceptable sexual body is. Like, who said? Really? Who said? Okay? It's just a bunch of magazines and things on media. Your partner loves you, right? So your partner loves you. Love yourself. Stop beating up on yourself. If you feel that you should be healthier, then be healthier. But in the meantime, love yourself along the way. Don't wait until you get there to love yourself. Love yourself now. Get healthier, but love yourself now. Okay, so that's another thing that we're going to work on, is that self-love now. We're not waiting to love ourselves, okay, until we do this, 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 and this. That's never going to happen. So how about we love ourselves along the way? Because if we wait, we're just going to keep raising the bar, right? We're never going to get to the other side. So it's time to love ourselves now. Self-care, self-acceptance. I'm talking about men, some manscaping, and I'm talking about women, making sure that you are the best you can be. Take care of hair and odor and stuff like that. Like, come on. Self-care. This stuff should not be told to you, but we do have to say it from time to time. Okay, remember, your partner loves you and chose you. Okay? 4, laugh. Oh my God. Laugh, 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 right? So this creates bonding between the two of you. I'm not saying laugh at each other during sex. I'm saying laugh. Come on. We make sounds, right? We make slurping sounds and slapping sounds, and there's some sounds that get made that can be funny sometimes, or unexpected sounds that sometimes happen, and laugh about it. Don't be embarrassed. Laugh. Like I said, don't laugh at each other. You're laughing with each other, right? This is something, sometimes we make sounds. This is where you're like not just lovers, but you're friends. Like, there's this comfort level that the two of you can laugh. Okay, so laughter is really great. It releases anger, resentment, stress, and it's a great aphrodisiac, right? So laughter is a great aphrodisiac, and it helps you just kind of escape, right? So that's kind of good too. So tip number 5, masturbation during sex play. Why not show your partner what you like? You are there to please each other, right? So it brings down inhibitions. Okay, so try it. This is your partner. What are you shy about? They've seen you. Some of you have had babies. They've been in the room. Like, so what are you shy about? Right? There's nothing to be shy about. Again, these are our own inhibitions. Like, put them away. There's no place for inhibitions when you're together in this way, right? So, talking about that. Number 6, be generous and have game. Okay, so don't allow your sex play to go stale. Try new things. Be playful. Role-playing, toys, living out fantasies. Let me talk about this stuff for a second. Okay? People, and I'm going to say most of the time, just from my experience in speaking with people, most of the time it's men. when you decide to bring toys into the room, when you decide to bring, do some role playing or whatever, like this type of thing, men tend to sometimes, or people tend to get their back up about it. They tend to feel a little inadequate because they're like, why are you doing this? Because I'm not enough. It's not about that. Like, really, step out of your insecurities. It is not about that. It's about just bringing some interest. Not that you're not interesting. It's just bringing something new, having some fun, right? It's the, today we're going to do this because it's fun. Not because I think that you can't get me off or whatever it is. Like, that's not what it's about. It's about just making things interesting. Okay, so you have to think about things differently and not, take everything so personal. It's not meant that way, right? It's about spicing up your love life and bringing down your inhibitions. Okay, so it's not about judging you and saying your equipment is not good enough, so I'm bringing toys into the room. That's not it at all. Okay, so what it is, it's just about sharing with each other because you can. And because you are a couple, and because you love each other and you want to have some fun. Okay? Really? It's that simple. Like, stop making it so complicated. Number 7, kiss and be playful. Okay? So, a kiss on the cheek when you're walking by, on the forehead, throughout the day, a pat on the butt, like just sexting, sending each other some sexy texts. Tongue-tied there. So, some sexting. So, just to keep it real, right? So just, you're thinking about each other. Let that person know that that's happening. So that's an awesome thing to be doing. And of course, one of my favorites, number 8, is breathing together. So I did talk about this one other time. So breathing together, matching your partner's breath while you're having sex. So not telling each other that you're going to do this, but to do it, right? So when they breathe in, you breathe in. When your partner breathes out, you breathe out. If they're having some rapid breathing, you breathe with them. This creates, like, it's matching each other. And when you match each other, you create a bond. You create a really cool connection between each other, right? So I want you to try this. And this is not for something that you're going to do during a quickie. This is something you're going to do in a longer session together, okay? So it builds rapport with each other. It's bonding. It builds connection. It can bring you to new heights. Again, only during longer sessions. So this is my brief video or discussion that I would have with people regarding sex in your relationship, and understand that it can be coming from other places other than your bedroom, right? This could be because of some self issues, some self-love issues, some self-esteem issues that we can work on. Or it could be about misunderstandings between the two of you. Okay, maybe you guys just need to get livened up a little bit, and that's going to fix the whole relationship. It's going to fix a lot of things. Okay, so you just need to find out what the different ingredients are that need some attention. All right, and stop blaming the sex life, or just, that's our life and I don't even care if we have sex anymore or whatever. Like, that's not the answer, because we are humans, and the one thing that we have been losing over time with all this technology is contact. Okay, physical contact. It's important. Babies would die without it. Like, it is important. All right, water, air, food, contact. We need contact. Okay, so it's important. So I want you to think about that. I do free consultations with people regarding any part of their relationship, but this would definitely be one of the things that we would be talking about. If it's an issue, then I would be helping you with that. And but let me know. You can contact me at thechakrahouseofhealing.com. There is a book now button on my Facebook page. There's one on the sidebar of my website. There's no reason why you can't book a consultation either in clinic or online. It doesn't matter. I do a lot of my sessions on video and a lot of my sessions in person. So however that works for you is perfectly okay. So I will talk to you soon. Please let me know if you have any comments or any questions. Message me. I am very, very anxious and happy to speak with you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.